Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. But it is become another episode of Free. My tonight is our brother Imam Modern. Also, and we can know about stories of the bits. عليهم الله أجمعين. And then shut to about for you for some gems there. So stories, practical lessons from their lives. So inshallah we can benefit from there. Assalamu alaikum. Alhamdulillah. How you doing?
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. This is the first day now.
Alhamdulillah, bad. Only a few hours, about an hour and a half left to go, and inshallah, we'll pass the first day this year with the family.
Inshallah. Do you have any in this food rituals for Ramadan? This culture yours?
My rituals, this is my own rules. It's not to do with anybody else. My own. I have to have 7 dates. And I pray. And then I go and have my Arabic, which is the usually very popular Gulf dates. The Gulf, it's not the one. And add extra ginger and up to soon the throat. After today, I'll have something to eat. That will be my meal, really. That I don't know anything, like a bit of that will be my major meal for the day. And before Fajr time, I'll have something to eat. Like during all this time, keep drinking water. That's keep drinking water. Every half hour, 15 minutes, I'll have a bit of water in there just to keep my hydrated. And so these are rituals.
MashaAllah, tabarakallah. And I should try and have diet. Some of this is try too much food, but they will all have to eat something because of the hassle that we'll have to have the suhoor.
It's a precaution. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed the barakah in food of the soul. We need to understand the blessings. Where is it from? You see the energy. It gives us a bit. You follow Sunnah of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The rest of the day you're supposed to eat as normal, even better as a fast. People fasting is going to slow down. Actually, can you measure? I filled the tank. I'm not saying fill the tank to the limb, but I put some fuel to your system to fuel you up. If you then you'll have yourself harm. This is not the way or Islam that you follow.
Indeed, sometimes we feel a bit tired or after it's a bit too much. I remember always the farmer and kind of the hot country still doing the fasting, and I've worked as a child in my life, so that kind of give me back as you better be better than this. But yes, we hosted Brother Yes Candy this week. He was talking also about his own fast and how he become fasting. He would actually do exercise, and he had this huge energy. It's not limiting him such to have the thing. If anything, is allowed to be more focused and have energy for it.
My boys, all the boys, were planning to go for a walk every day. But I said to them, it'll be an exception. You've got this yourself. But inshallah, every other day, Friday, we're going for a night walk. Just where we live, so go home, prepare the dining room with the wife and get food. That way the kids themselves will have a little exercise. I will have myself and be able to. But the way we to do again is everything connect together. So whatever activity we do, want to do family. So yesterday night we prayed Tarawih. I led the prayer together. We did long. It was short and simple. The kids can join in without having frustration or being tired. So everything, as I say to people in my daily lessons, do it as a family. Engage everyone with it. Inshallah, it will be better. It will be easy. Every feel the part of it as you're trying to do.
Good role model, inshallah. It's a few tips also for our audience we have lessons from. And tonight we're going to starting a first series of 44 episodes going to be to the stories of the prophets. And tonight starting with the Prophet Yusuf. So I know you wanted to start with Yusuf. Can you tell us how you want to start with him?
My son is Yusuf.
MashaAllah. You really love Yusuf.
I love Yusuf. It's very close to my heart. The story of Yusuf is very close to my heart. I remember when I started to memorize the Quran, when I reached Surah Yusuf, it only took me 8.5 to finish totally memorized by heart. It's a very close to my heart, and the part of the story that brings to my eyes the same way I wrote tears to Prophet Qub's eyes. He heard about going. All of these, it's the story has that. I think intimate connection with self, the story, being Egypt as well, and then that brought into it. But it's a lot of things to me to the story. So
I can see lots of my stories. Okay, so we'll start with the story. What would you like to learn about we know this the anyway. So
Okay.
what would you like to focus on? Actually, have lessons from and have inshallah practical tips of with our life and trials and the episodes that we get in our life.
To hold the story of Yusuf alayhi salam, there's always a lesson. So every step of the way, from the first moment he started to betray and throw him in the well, he hoped to unite back again in Egypt and all fulfilled the theme of Yusuf salam when they all died. Now, this part I think of the story is when Yusuf salam goes to his father, Yusuf bihi inni ra'aytu 11 kawkab ash-shamsa wa ma ra'aytu sajidin, and he says, father, I see in my dreams that there are 11 stars and moon down from myself. And his father said to him straight away, man, do not worry to me of your brothers. The Shaitan is very intelligent in dividing people away and from each other and installing hate. But Yusuf alayhi salam was so proud of him. He told one of his brothers, and then they planned, plotted, they had the love of alayhi salam, and they had them plotted to get Yusuf. He didn't. His essence from their take, all the way into the end of your parents. They know parents will all know their children better. They'll learn their children better. They learn reality they come with and the way they think. And the advice that Alayhi was given by his father was to tell them anything for a reason. He knows that the children know Yusuf is more than else. The father of Yusuf more than even they hate themselves. قالوا يوسف وأخوه أحب إلى أبينا منا ونحن عصبة. You know that our Yusuf and his brother is from a different, more beloved to our father than us. The plan was actually using him in the beginning, but they went back in after them to kill on brother. They throw Salam in. Here is the upbringing of the child. Yusuf is very young, but his father brought him up as a believer, a person who believes Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, understand Allah, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is, where the power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is, how to rely on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and seduction of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Every step away, he was brought up, even in Egypt, at Aziz's house. He was brought up by the culture. He had man that believed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in his heart to protect out all that as well. So, us again, it's a very important that from a young age, instill Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in children's hearts. They understand Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because how can you worship Allah and know Allah? You know, it's something very important here, and a lot of people don't even know. We need to follow our parents taught, and the society, the way the society is, but we don't understand Allah properly. We don't know who Allah is. We don't realize that love oneness in the belief of Allah Ta'ala, and we go have some weakness in our ibadah somehow. We need to adjust our understand more about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and this is what happened with Yusuf. Now, that everybody knows Yusuf alayhi salam. راودته التي في بيت نفسه وغلقت الباب وقالت هيت قال عاذ الله إن ربي أخوي إنه يحب الظالمين. So the story of Yusuf alayhi salam with his mistress, or the wife of Al-Aziz, who tried to ask to adultery. Now imagine yourself.
She said, you know, pause.
She basically said, هيت وقالت لك, I am here for you, come and do it, please. In the Tafsir's books, to touch his look how beautiful hair. He said that he's subhanallah, look at his answer. This is the first one to fall for him. She goes, how beautiful your face is. He goes, one it will be in that, and you will be left in. Every time she was praising something about him, he was putting it down as it will make a difference. He's not bothered about it. He's not interested in. She kept in feeding and brought him closer to her. Until he was about to accept her, but here is protection of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Her intention was to join Yusuf, to Yusuf alayhi salam, have that, that relationship with هم بها. The thought was mine. لو أرى برهان ربه. لو رأى برهان ربه. He saw the sign of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the sign of the book said he saw a picture of his father in front of him, and some of the books said an ayah forbade this, and the ones, the most weak ones, that he saw her husband in his face.
But some of the seers, I mean, this is the most controversial probably point in all of the plots of the stories, because of the that she wanted to do وهم بها, and he was about to, and that's the linguistic side of it. And some of the ulama is لو رأى برهان, but it's from the beginning because of faith instilled in him. That's the one that actually stopped him. If he didn't have the faith we were talking about earlier, if he didn't have the faith from the beginning, who already saw the powers of Allah Azza wa Jal, the existence of Allah Azza wa Jal, of the entity, and the minds of Allah, that stopped him. And if it wasn't for that, he would have actually done it as well. Yeah. So it's one of the tafsirs as well, that he would have, if he didn't have that faith in the first place.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, and the other part as well, which is very important, that is that how to actually live from it without causing anger to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because in his heart, the position he's in, or he's doing it wrong, still a position that could compromise his deen, and I think that he didn't want. And Allah ta'ala, even in the ayah, إِنَّ مِنْ عِبَادِنَا الْمُخْلَصِينَ, was one of pious, most sincere servants. And at that moment, Yusuf
does mean he was actually
chosen. Mukhlasin, those ones, the servants of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that in their heart. Okay. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Yusuf alayhi salam ready for a message, a huge job, duty that Yusuf is going to be filling later stage.
Which is from the when Allah Azza wa Jal was kicking Iblis out of his mercy in our heaven. It says لأغنهم جميعا
إلا عبادك المخلصين.
When he was dialogue, he says, I will the change of action, get everybody lured away from mercy, apart from the one you already chose and select. And Allah Azza said that ayah, that Yusuf is one of the selected ones, and he's one of the least one as well. So we've never ever had a chance with Muhammad, with Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam.
So it's again, it's every day that we live lives are in a battle with shaitan. Every day. Yes, it doesn't matter. Yeah. The battle with shaitan. And if we defeat one, then we have our deen, and we have in the obedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It makes the shaitan, don't hope, all make mistakes. And Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam even said, if you went kind of who make mistakes and seek Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah will take you away, and other people will forgive you, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, as humans, we need to seek the forgiveness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, time, ask Allah to forgive us, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide, and make repentance, dawah, istighfar all the time. This is not something that we should ignore. So don't lose hope in the mercy of Allah. It doesn't matter how many sins you've done. It doesn't matter how many. Listen, there's verse. وَعِيَدَ الَّذِينَ أَنفِهِمْ لَا تَقْنَطُوا مِنْ رَحْمَةِ اللَّهِ إِنَّ اللَّهَ يَغْفِرُ جَمِيعًا إِنَّهُ هُوَ الْغَفُورُ الرَّحِيمُ. The ayah, قُلْ يَا عِبَادِي أَسْلَمَ أَنْهِمْ, oh my sons, the ones so far
excessive.
Never lose hope in the mercy of Allah. So it's important to always have man in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we can do is make the evidence here from Allah in His own reason subhanahu wa ta'ala. Promise we'll do back again to sin, inshallah subhanahu wa ta'ala will forgive that, not just forgive it, replace sins with deeds, inshallah. This is height Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to us as Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam.
So, but there's something open after that. When he saw the proof in the faith of Allah wa Jal, he tried to door, despite the door is a shut.
She ripped his shirt. Master opens the door. As soon as he came, now subhanallah, she's at the table 180 degrees the other way, saying she finds herself compromising. And she has herself it. So blame you was to be straight away. So she that he was trying to attack and force herself to her. SubhanAllah, the three who spoke when they are engaged. According to a lot of the ulama, and the three spoken at the base. One of the Israel, the worship of the Israel who used of adult, and the child inside of one spoke and said his father. Second, Yusuf alayhi salam. And the third was the story of when I actually said that if he was trying to attack, his shirt ripped from front, not back, but if he was running away, his shirt was torn from back. And when they looked at it, they saw it go back. Now, because of the shit, that has been happening for a time. If you're in a harsh in the city, you get scanned to be correctly, and only poor sent to prison, and not just something happening. That happened since then. So that's why I have a connection. The story where it's from.
Because there's one thing some of these scholars that I've read that they were talking about Yusuf. Despite that he was in a locked room and no way out, and he had to surrender to her or fight her, still tried to go to the war, knowing that's actually locked. And one of the benefits is you always try to to Allah Azza wa Jalla.
It's again the same as Maryam. She was weak, was kept a tree, she couldn't do anything. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, and you shake the tree and it will fall down. She's very weak. How could that person shake the tree? There is no could happen. But she did, and all she had to do was the effort. All had to make the effort. This is the way again in our situation when aqil tawakkal in the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the make rely on subhanahu wa ta'ala, pray yourself and rely on subhanahu wa ta'ala to probably or try to adness or hardship or going through.
Yes. And that's one of the issues that we have. We focus on the reason, but we achieve the tawakkul Azza wa Jalla, actually dependent on Allah Azza wa Jalla, make it. When we actually try to actually grow save Allah Azza wa Jalla, isn't you? Was Allah Azza wa Jalla made sure and reach its target, gave success for it. That's one thing. This story of Yusuf is full of every fruits for it.
Every ayah you read of Yusuf, you are find it, and you're going to find a benefit as human being. This hasn't finished, and then the case was supposed to be closed. Yusuf said as not innocent, was guilty, and Yusuf had that Yusuf exists about it, don't think about it more, and to have a feeling you committed the sin, we're going to forget about it, but he didn't, because her desire, have Yusuf his son, side of it. And then they started to talk to what happened. He mentioned Yusuf and her desire to have Yusuf and the love of Yusuf. We see her as a complete lost cause, basically, right after her 7. But she's in a position of power. How can she prove to all of them that what she's correct and in control? She plots plans, and again, full of plans. And I want to prove people in a position they are combined. So she invites them on a meal. She puts all fruit to each one of them, knife, and sharp one. And while they are just about to cutting the fruit, she uses Yusuf to walk past, just walk in front of them. As soon as they saw Yusuf, and the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Yusuf was given half of the beauty of the world. So as soon as they saw Yusuf salam, the jaws drops, the eyes concentrating anywhere else, and still cutting. They're cutting the fruits, they're cutting their own hands, they're actually slicing through their own. They're not feeling anything because the mind is completely gone, looking at Yusuf salam. And what did they say? وَقُلْنَا لِلَّهِ هَذَا بَشَرٌ إِنْ هَذَا إِلَّا مَلَكٌ كَرِيمٌ. This is not a being, it's an angel from the heavens. Now, this is how much they were completely mesmerized by looking at Yusuf salam. And she basically said, this is the point to you. قالت كنا الذي لمتنني فيه ولقد رأيته عن نفسه فاستعصم ولم يفعل أمره لجنن ولا يكون الصاغرين. SubhanAllah is the point that I want to go. What did Yusuf alayhi? She said he doesn't know what he's told, and to say her, he will be sent to prison and he will be humiliated. What did Yusuf salam do? He said, forget about this 100 prison. This is life already as it is. I'm going to do whatever it is. At least I'm in myself at that moment, and I'm going to be living my life afterwards. He said, قال رب سجن أحب إلي ما يدعون إليه إلا تصنع لهن فيهن وأكن جاهل. Subhanallah. Said, oh Allah, prison is more beloved to me than what they are asking me to do. And if you don't protect me from the misguidance, I fall into that. I will be amongst the end. Subhanallah. Look how Yusuf salam bringing that here is the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's proven that he would rather go to prison than commit a sin of Allah. And he said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I go to prison because if you don't protect me from sin they are asking me to do, I'll fall in that and I will be ignorant. This is in a way itself dua to show your weakness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As a human being, you are in need for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It doesn't matter if for Yusuf salam, by the way, what we need to understand, he think, oh, son of a prophet, Yaqub alayhi salam, help me with my father. No. He's looking at health, at him, his position there. He was praying subhanahu wa ta'ala to make him as Yusuf known, not as Yusuf the son of Yaqub. He didn't ask for that relationship to be up, and he didn't ask for it, and he didn't even put up. So Here, Yusuf is asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect him before he commit a sin. فَاسْتَجَابَ لَهُ فَصَعَنْهُ كَيْدَهُنَّ وَهُوَ السَّمِيعُ الْعَلِيمُ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepted his dua, and he was sent to Yusuf.
Yeah. There's a couple of things here that's interesting. One, what wish, and Muhammad Sallallahu in one of the hadiths, I've mentioned him, if he didn't ask for the prison, he wouldn't. If I asked for something else, not the prison, but he asked for the prison, he asked for something else as a solution. But the other thing that Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, he knows he's a human. So for you saying, he knows he's a human and he's weak, and he's not asking to be trialed and tested. He's asking Azza wa Jal to avoid trials and avoid fitna. That's one of the hadiths of Prophet لا يتمنى أحدكم البلاء يسأل الله العافية. So nobody's actually asked to fitna or to have the ibtila, even that will come to the wall, and they ask Allah Azza wa Jal for al-afiyah and call Allahumma atina hasana wa fil akhirati hasana wa qina adhaban nar. But Allah give us a good deed in dunya and the akhirah, and avoid us the adhab al-nar. That's really interesting how he's yes.
The only thing he so asked for them was because she's already got a choice. He was a prison, all everything the same.
Yeah.
It was a free choice for him as well at the same time. And then when he was in prison, other stories start. SubhanAllah, throughout all this journey that Yusuf is going through, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is preparing him for final duty and that he is going to do. Yeah. He was in prison. Yusuf get two people there with him. One is given a dream that they both had dreams, and one is said, دخل معه السجن فتاة أحدهما إني أراني خمرا. I see that I am squeezing juices for the khamr, my king, for example. And the other one said, I see that the birds are eating bread. I'm a bit express. So you started to them, this is the guy, and he didn't explain the dream straight away. Yes. A man who believes in Allah Ta'ala. And this of that, you will give your answer. Now listen to me what I'm telling you about my belief and my Rabb, and who is my leader, my age. And he started saying to them, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala explaining about تبع ملة إبراهيم وإسحاق ويعقوب ما كان لنا أن نشرك الله من شيء ذلك من فضله علينا وعلى الناس ولكن أكثر الناس لا يعلمون. Explained that the religion he is following, there is no knowledge with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. أصحاب السجن أرى متفرقون أخذ واحد. All my friends in prison, my companions in prison, my companions in the world, so many spread it around gods that worshipping are better, or only one is أحد القهار, the only one, the one might and power, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. After this, Islam explained, so one of them was going to survive and one of them to execute. And that on Yusuf alayhi salam was said to the person he thought is going to survive, remember me when you are released.
There's this, I don't interrupt you, but can I just go back just a tad bit?
Yeah.
It seems all over here. So he's in prison, Yusuf alayhi salam, and people ask him for something, for a favor, something that seems to be known about him. So he uses what he has is in link always to Allah Azza wa Jal. And this is something about us as well. So when we do something, when we say something, when we whatever job we do, whatever act we take, whatever word we say, it have to be always observed Allah Azza wa Jal. And I'm doing it for the sake of Allah Azza wa Jal. He was in prison and he was still linking all his to Allah Azza wa Jal and using it for da'wah. Just this says, I will be doing this, but you have to know that I'm a believer and this is where all this came from. I'm just like that. I'm a believer of Allah Azza wa Jal, and he talked about, is it out of one God or scattered me God idols that you worship? It's always that thing, and this is what we always have to be thinking of. Link whatever you to Allah Azza wa Jal, and this will make it better.
And everything you do in your life is better if you are tended to do ibadah. Even the spoon of food left your wife's mouth is better. The act of intimacy between husband and wife,
yes,
it's done, it's said, and the person is required. Sahaba even asked Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam that question. We get for this. He said, do you do it in haram? Wouldn't you get so? They said, yeah. They said, well, you do it in halal, you ought to. So everything that you do, as long as you do it with the intention of ibadah and to protect you from haram, it's that for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then you will do it.
Subhanallah.
Now, Yusuf alayhi salam doing the same. It's actually showing us niyyah is important. Niyyah, the person, whatever you do in your work, whatever you do in your life, whatever step small or little, every action you do will be according to your niyyah and intention.
True.
Now, the problem here is about this. If you don't have niyyah, anything, you just doing whatever you're doing, losing a huge amount of it.
Yes.
If you're doing good deeds. If you have the niyyah, it doesn't matter, whatever you're doing, small or large, as long as you did, then imagine the amount of reward you accumulated throughout you. Sure. Huge. Yes. So niyyah is very important. And here Yusuf is explaining the niyyah. Niyyah was not to indulge in the beliefs or whatever they believe or whatever. Believing in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, giving him the background is coming from. And he'll explain to them what the dreams are, not accordance to the that he's from his deen, not from the mystical God or whatever they are bringing in and that they are doing. SubhanAllah, and that all later on, when alayhi salam stayed in he stayed in prison for years. The one that he said he's to be basically the one who was going to pouring the wine, the king, he was saved, and one day of Egypt had a
but when he asked when the people was going to be pouring the drink for the king of Egypt, he was trying to achieve the prison. They said that that's wish to be away from the woman of Aziz. So in a sense, also a benefit, because even if you are humble and pious servants of Allah, it doesn't mean that don't always try to be better, no matter where you are. Knowing this is the qadar, and even that's even wish, doesn't mean that you seek to move where you are.
No. Yusuf alayhi salam at the time, he understood exactly what he made this, asking somebody he could mention haste to the king that will allow him out.
Yes.
So he didn't sit down and wait for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to judge for him to go out. But again, لِلَّهِ فِي أَمْرِهِ حِكَمٌ. If every Allah ta'ala does, there's always a wise point behind it or something else that comes from that point. And for this, when you look at what subhanahu wa ta'ala says, the situation wasn't to Yusuf alayhi salam, it was too innocent for the time and that moment and everything. And when the king saw that his voice to explain what that was, and said 7 80 there was hard the 7 years that are green are the ones ride and this is like no one knows how to end these dreams. Forget about it. The one who's saved at that point there, he said, أنا أنبئك بتأويله بأرسلون. I'll tell you exactly about send me back to prison I came from, because there's a man who knows about it, and he warned him. أيها الصديق أفتى بسبع بقر سمان يأكلهن عجاف وسنبلات خضر وأخرى سات أرجع لعلهم يعلمون. Yusuf said, what I tell you, I try to remember the king and you forgot me. You didn't bring me out, take me out. You didn't save this prison. Subhanallah, he has the akhlaq anbiya. When they have the ability to help, when they have the ability to support somebody, they don't mentioning mistakes of these people. They say to them, I'm not going to do this to you. No, they do it, help. So you started playing the dreams way to that. And the man went and told me, did the king say at that point, if your advisors that I have didn't know what his name was, and this man in prison, you bring him to me. Now Yusuf alayhi salam says, I'm not come out until the truth comes out. He did at the beginning, do this, do that. No, now they would say, now I need to know that this is what, and why I wasn't sent to prison, the misjustice I was treated under. It needs to be right. This you need to be brought right. And الملك ائتوني به فلما جاءه الرسول قال إلى ربك ألهما النسوة قطع يديهن. He didn't go to Al-Aziz.
Yes.
He kept on.
Yes.
Subhanallah, it's something that we know. If you say to a big head, all you're going to get is a complete silence. You're not going to get anything. No, what women who cut hands? Why did they cut hands? What's the behind it? And alayhi salam was very intelligent the way he approached that matter. Now the king brought him and he asked him the question, ما خطبكن إذ راوتن يوسف عن نفسه. Why and what brought you to the point that you started to try to make the sin and try to mislead him? قلنا لله. They said, what did they say? حاشا لله, protect us. We've never heard anything about Yusuf alayhi salam. So the truth is coming out. And of Al-Aziz, the way the woman who tried to manipulate Yusuf alayhi salam, force him to commit a sin, is there. They're listening the whole thing. What she say? قالت العزيز أصحى صلحة. خلاص, the truth is coming out. By the and no way to hide. أنا راودت عن نفسي وإنه من الصادقين. SubhanAllah. The tests, subhanAllah, test servants more than one. Is the one. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continues until walk on this earth, we have no things left. Corona that we have, and we need to be patient because instead our iman patient going to look at Salam. He was falsely accused. Allah was done to him by his brother throwing him in hell. But he's patient. He did not lose hope. He did not lose. He kept with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, hoping that Allah ta'ala one day will bring the truth out and show everyone what truth in the situation. Now, after Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed Yusuf alayhi salam with a great job. He was graduated in Egypt because of his ability. He asked, he said, إِنِّي عَلَى خَزَائِنِ الْأَرْضِ حَفِيظٌ عَلِيمٌ. I have the knowledge, I can protect the crops, I can make sure these years of hardship that's going to come to it with famine, and mitigate them so you don't have to suffer. And he was, as we pitching himself for the job, and he was the job. When the hard years hit, who was to come to seek help from Egypt? Egypt was the only place at that time that has managed to mitigate the hard years and the times, the years of famine.
That's a really good point. But in terms of he's putting himself forward to the post, to the position. So are we saying if somebody finds himself really, he believes that he's good for that position, genuinely, should put himself forward, or rather shy away and just say, no, I'm going to take it?
You should put yourself forward. You should put yourself forward. Put yourself forward for if you have ability and you know that you have the knowledge, ability, and capability to put your job to the best of your ability, then you should put yourself forward. And by the way, that during the Sahaba, as during the time of Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, during the time of Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, there was a trench. I don't think we're going to finish the whole story of Yusuf alayhi salam. There is the battle of the trench. There was an incident where a man from Mecca managed to cross the trench and requested, I can't remember his name, requested somebody come and fight with. And Ali bin Abi Talib radiallahu anhu put himself forward. And that man, by the way, was an absolute beast of a human being. The narrations was a very tough individual. He's never lost a Jew's life. He's well known. Everybody's afraid of him. And Abi Talib radiallahu anhu right away said, I am for him. And Rasulullah kept put him back. Radiallahu anhu kept come again and requested to go and fight him. Second time. And Muhammad ﷺ ordered him to fight him. But here, the reason Muhammad ﷺ was him because he wanted him to know it's his job. It's out the park here. It's a difficult situation. But Abi Talib knew this, knew the ability, and one thing his belief was over that man, because that man told he wasn't as useful as Ali Talib radiallahu anhu. He wasn't as agile as Ali Talib radiallahu anhu in his movement. So he needed him. The man died.
His name was Ibn Abdul. Yes.
That's it.
Okay. Sorry to interrupt you, but we'll go back to Yusuf. Try to finish as much as possible tonight.
Yes. So with Yusuf Ali, his brothers came, and there were one tribes and the groups who were trying to get the food from Egypt and do a little bit of trade. And Yusuf alayhi salam recognized them straight away. He didn't recognize them. Now Yusuf knows that his brother who might be still in danger because he knew what his brother's like. So he wanted to keep him safe with him. So he asked him, well, you saw what happened here. Put your bida'a in your trade. He told servants by the money that for the food, put it back in the goods that they did with, to put it back again so they everything back. So the father and they said, the king is asking us to bring our with us, and we have our even our goods that we with us to trade have returned back again. So the father said, you can't take him, but the father is giving them again and again. And subhanAllah, here we need to understand about that. وقال يا بنات ادخلوا من باب واحد وادخلوا من أبواب مختلفة. People under envy. There is ghibta and there is hasad. Ghibta is when you look at somebody who's got something good and you praise and you want Allah to bless it for them and you ask to give something similar. Hasad is when you look at what people have, you wish for it to be destroyed and wiped away because you don't like it. And here Yaqub salam was worried the number of children of Allah was quite large, that they're going to be envied by people and that could bring some calamity on them. And he said to them, do not enter from the same gate, from different doors, from different gates. يعني لا تدخلوا من واحد, not enter from one gate, وادخلوا أبواب مغلقة. And he made sure that they bring the brother back in. But Yusuf alayhi salam, he wanted to his brother, so he put the suwa, the suwa is scale or whatever they used to weigh the goods with, and put it in, and that is weight. So they something that one of the measurement that they used to use to weigh the goods with. He put his brother's luggage. Basically, so they looking for it, and they said there's caravan when it was Egypt, and brother was started. They said his luggage as he was accused of stealing it, and they kept him back. Now, subhanallah, what his brother said at that point. قال يسرق فقد سرق أخه من قبل. He stole, his before him had stolen as well. That will hurt Yusuf alayhi salam. But again, فأعرض يوسف في نفسه ولم يها لأنتم شر منا الله أعلم تصفون. So he said, he didn't say this loudly, he kept it in his heart. He said, أنتم شر مكانا, you are worse in your position you are in. Allahu a'lam bima tasifun. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala more knowledge about what you are describing. And then it's not to barter with you, to tell brother with them, knowing that the other has taken also on them, that they come back, they lost the other, and Yusuf salam wouldn't give to their requests. All said, I'm going to stay with him, I'm not going in. You go to your father, explain to him how, and the situation. This is really breaks my heart every time I read part. And his reaction, Yaqub alayhi salam, when he hears the news, subhanallah, وَلَّى عَنْهُمْ وَقَالَ أَسَى عَلَى وَبْيَضَّ عَيْنَاهُ مِنَ الْحُزْنِ فَهُوَ. The loss of his son killed his heart to the point that he was blinded. Yaqub alayhi salam, from the amount of tears and suffering that he's gone through. And that brings to heart the loss of a son, but a father, lost my father, 17, that really brings my heart in, because his loss of person was really hard, and it's so very emotional. And then he asks children back, brothers. Go back to Yusuf alayhi salam, and Yusuf salam sees it, that in subhanallah here, a lesson of forgiveness, a lesson of forgiveness, what they want, and to any families who have a problem with each other, because they've got an issue over a land that is back home, not in here. They've got a problem because they hate each other. They've got a problem because some stupid situation happened 100 years ago. Here, a prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was thrown in the hell, sold alive, accused falsely of to rape body, sent him to prison. Brothers said that a thief, and then we caught him after the complete distraught because of the wish they're in. He gave them. He forgave them. قالوا تالله لقد آك الله علينا وإنا لخاطئين. Subhanallah. قال لا تثريب اليوم يغفر الله لكم. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Allah ta'ala raised you over us. And this is because, and there is, I'm not going to start telling you or punishing you, forgiving you. Allah يغفر الله لكم. Allah will give you وهو أرحم الراحمين. اذهبوا بقوسي هذا فألقوه على وجه أبي يأتي بصيرا وأتوني أهلكم أجمعين. So Allah, given his effect to know the journey before they arrive, the father could Yusuf alayhi salam.
I can split of Yusuf. So إنك في ذلك هذا.
ولما وصلت العير, هي الآية ولما وصلت العير mean started moving journey. قال أبوهم إن أجرح يوسف. Allah, see that the father, it was Yusuf alayhi salam reached the shirt and his back. They started to seek forgiveness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The father forgive them as well, because they accused the father of his mind, all sorts of things. And they started to make the journey to Egypt. فلما دخلوا على يوسف آوى إليه أبويه ورفع آوى أبويه وقال ادخلوا مصر إن شاء الله آمنين. I pray Allah okay. I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless all the ability, inshallah, to Egypt, where it's innocence and tranquility, inshallah. And he did his parents sit on the throne of Egypt. And the respect and the other respect he showed here is for us again to understand what respect parents. And at that point, remember the dream beginning? Yeah. 11 stars bowing in position. His was bowed down. SubhanAllah. And the sun and the moon were his parents, and that was the fulfillment of the dream of Yusuf alayhi salam at that point. Now, the story of Yusuf alayhi salam is Quran. It's very simple for anyone to follow it. The whole surah is named after Yusuf alayhi salam. And wallahi, it's a beautiful story. Lots of lessons, lots of morals which you even learn, listen, even to the children. We could actually, pick up some lessons for children, for us as adults. So may Allah Ta'ala grant us the ability to learn more from the Quran, these blessed of the month of Ramadan, inshallah.
Jazakallah khair. Jazakallah khair. Lots of just, mashallah, lots of things to think about, lots of tips. And it's beautiful how we finish with the forgiveness that Yusuf, he bestowed on his family and the people who was him wrong, all the hard journey that he had in his life. Despite that, when he was taken away from his father, he was a child, innocent little child, and he was taken away, which made the journey harder and harder. But again, he never said, what is happening to me? Because believed in Allah Azza wa Jalla, whatever is Allah bestowed on him is actually good, while working on better his life, and eventually he was given his parents back. And mashallah, he brought them to his bosom, close to him, but he gave him like ma'wa, shelter. He gave him the house for his family, brought them close to him. In the Masra Amin. Inshallah, we will go to Egypt safely, inshallah. Jazakallah khair. Jazakallah. Inshallah, we'll meet you next week, inshallah.
Inshallah, khair. Jazakumullah khair.
Allah Amin. Allah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Assalamu alaikum.